Okay, if you have a look on the screen here, I've got a blank grid. This is a strand chart for the make sense of number to solve problems strand. So you can see the strand goes long ways across the screen, and inside each strand there is a number of progressions, and here we've got 6 number progressions. And if I start on the left hand side there, we've got additive strategies, multiplicative strategies, proportional reasoning, and then number sequence, place value, and number facts. So each of those is a progression inside the strand. So we've got the make sense of number strand, and we've got 6 progressions here. And those little boxes inside the progressions going down from 1 to 6, each one of those boxes is a step. And when we plot our learner onto those steps and progressions, that's the mapping part. So here, for example, my imaginary course, I've mapped it for additive strategies at step 5. And the way I do that is I open up the learning progressions for adult numeracy in this case. I look at the strand for make sense of number, and inside each of those little boxes is a description. I look at the description and I make a judgment. Now there is some subjectivity involved here, but you'll find the more you do this, the easier it will become, and it's not totally subjective. If you do this with your colleagues, you'll find that very quickly you'll come to some quite robust judgments about where your course or particular tasks should be mapped. So I'm not going to get into all the details of the particular descriptions of the steps here. For our purposes right now, it's enough to say I've looked at the description for step 5. I might have also looked either side, perhaps at step 4 and step 6, and made my decision that my course or my task that I'm looking at fits at step 5. And then I might move across and look at multiplicative strategies, which is to do with times tables and divisions and how you work those out. And I might make a similar decision and say, well, I think in this case it's about a step 4. And then I might also do a similar thing around proportional reasoning and say, well, I think that's a step 5. Now, just with this particular strand, the make sense of number strand, there's a shortcut. If you know on the strategy side, that's these first 3 columns, that the highest step is a 5, then on the knowledge side of things, which is on the right hand side there, you can map everything by default at the step below the highest step on the other side. So it sounds more complicated than it actually is, but I've mapped additive and proportional reasoning at step 5. That means the knowledge that someone needs to do those things is automatically at step 4. If my highest strategy progression was, say, step 6, then the knowledge required to do that strategy would be step 5 across those other 3. So that's just a little shortcut and a tip. It only works with the make sense of number strand, but it's one way you can speed up this whole process.